Welcome back. Well, last weekend's thrilling Dakota Days win over Youngstown State put USD football's record at a perfect 5-0 and gave them the 4th ranked spot in both the Stats FCS Top 25 and the NCAA FCS Coaches Poll. But the Coyotes couldn't enjoy that win for too long as they're back in action tomorrow against Indiana State. The Sycamores are coming off a 52-0 shutout defeat versus NDSU last week and have yet to make a mark in the win column this season. The Coyotes, meanwhile, are one of only 7 unbeaten FCS teams in the nation and are looking for their first 6-0 start since 2005. They're playing some great football right now, ranking 1st in the nation in total offense at 537 yards a game and 2nd in the nation in scoring at 45.2 points per game. The Coyotes are also the only team in both the FCS and FBS that have yet to commit an offensive turnover this year. That's pretty dang good. The odds seem to be in USD's favor, but this is the Missouri Valley, and anyone who knows this league knows you can't underestimate anyone and have to bring it every Saturday. Bob Nielsen and his team certainly aren't reading into that winless record for Indiana State. And for more on this Missouri Valley matchup, here's what both Nielsen and Sycamores head coach Kurt Mallory had to say.
You look at their schedule and who they've played, and you know they've had 3 of the 5 games that they've played in situations where they've had chances to win at the end. And you know they're a team that's played great defense. Teams have struggled moving the ball against them on the ground, and certainly going to be a challenge for us.
Well, the quarterback, Chris Drevelier, does a great job. They're balanced. He takes care of the ball so well. Second week in a row, we're facing a quarterback hadn't turned the ball over, hadn't thrown an interception. So makes great decisions. He's a veteran player, can beat you with your feet, but he certainly has a big-time arm. And but love his his competitiveness, the way he leads the football team, his composure at the end of the games. He takes command, drove the team right down, and kicked a field goal against Youngstown State. They're big and physical up front, run the football, got big targets out, the wide receiver, so they're another dangerous offense. So he's as good a quarterback as we face this year. Makes a lot happen out there, so it starts with him, keeping him contained.
Number one, you got to prepare in this league. That's what's great about it. You got to prepare every week, and if you don't, you get beat because every team in the league is good enough to beat every team in the league, and that's what makes it a fun league to coach in. I think from a player standpoint, our guys understand that full well. That it's going to take a great effort by our part and a great preparation on our part to win on Saturday.
They got as good a defensive end that we've seen all year. He's productive, Darren Greenfield. He's had close to 6 sacks this year, but his motor never stops. I mean, I saw him make a play. I mean, it was about as good a play as I've seen defensively. He's on the ground, gets back up like he's falling on a hot skillet and jumps back up, knocks the ball right out of the quarterback's hand, makes an unbelievable effort play. But that's how they play.
They're a different style of defense. We're going to get a lot more pressure type looks from Indiana State, and that always complicates your preparation. So that will be one of the key things that we've got to be ready for on Saturday. We've put ourselves in a great position here over the first 5 weeks to now make every additional game that much more important. And I talked with our guys about that winning a big game like we did a week ago down at Western Illinois, and now winning another one here at home against Youngstown, all that does is make the next one that much bigger. And we've got to play that way on Saturday and keep playing that way.
Kickoff tomorrow from the Dakota Dome is set for 2 p.m. and we'll have that game right here live on Midco SN. Jay Elson and Andre Fields on the call with me bringing you updates from the sidelines. Heading up to Brookings, the Jackrabbits are back on the winning track after a convincing 49-14 win over Southern Illinois last week. For the annual Hobo Day homecoming game tomorrow, SDSU welcomes Northern Iowa to the Dana J. Dyke House to close out a 2-game homestand. SDSU sits at 4-1 right now and number 7 in both the Stats FCS Top 25 and also the NCAA FCS Coaches Poll. The opponent, currently unranked but receiving votes, Northern Iowa, is 2-3 on the year, with those losses coming to Iowa State, Southern Utah, and last week's homecoming defeat against Western Illinois. But the Jacks are very good at home, aiming to match their longest home winning streak of the Division I era tomorrow, as they've won 8 games in a row at Dana J. Dyke House Stadium. Add into that, it is Homo Day, like I mentioned, the homecoming celebration for SDSU, and South Dakota State holds a 60, 38, and 5 all-time record on this weekend. Now let's hear what the coaches had to say about this matchup.
Can you be frustrated and mad about what happened? You bet you can, okay? Can you let it get you down and can you let it hang over you? Not at all. You can be mad as you want to be, and you should be. If you're not, I'd be worried. But you cannot be down about it and worry about it. You got to find ways to correct and solve and move on, and that's what we'll take care of. You better come every week to play. Your quarterback has to play great every week, and turnovers will create problems and keep people in games. So you can't beat yourself in any of these games. That's probably the message you take. You cannot beat yourselves when you're in tight football games. You can get away with it against lesser teams, but you can't when you get in the stage of the game that we're in with top 20 teams all the time. And that's what this league has become. And a lot of this league has become the way it is because of the strength of the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are really good right now in this league. I'm not worried about the fire. It's more the execution right now. So it's the execution for 4 quarters.
You know, UNI recently has started off a little slower than they wanted to, but they always start playing really good football, and I expect this will be the week. They make some great improvements. I love their football team. They play hard. They do a lot of things on defense. They're multiple on offense. They're very athletic. It's going to be a challenge.
Kickoff from Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium is set for 2 p.m. tomorrow, and we'll have that live for you on Midco SN2. Tom Neiman, Hank McCall, and Carla Metz on the call for that one. And still on the FCS football topic, we have a trivia question for you guys on this Friday the 13th regarding the FCS playoffs. So our question, there are only 4 FCS programs to reach the playoffs in each of the last 5 seasons. Can you name them? Put some thought into it. We'll have that answer for you later in the show, so stay tuned. When we come back, it's previews for our North Dakota FCS matchups. Both UND and NDSU are on the road this weekend. We tell you what to expect, and later, it's a Flashback Friday feature with Grand Forks native Brooks Bollinger. Stay tuned.